Today wraps up your first month as the interim superintendent. How's it been?
Hard to believe it's been a month, but it's been nice. I appreciate just continuing to work with the team that's here, and really we've just continued the work that we've been doing and are building upon that to improve those things that we can and prepare for opening day tomorrow.
And you say the work you've been doing because you were deputy superintendent for a long time. What's been the difference that you've noticed in between deputy superintendent and what you're doing now?
You know, much of the work that we've been doing is teamwork, is working collaboratively. And a few times I've wanted to pick up the phone and the traditional thing would be to check in and ensure that I'm in compliance or I'm in the will of the way that our superintendent would want us to go. And so now in the transition, you know, it's still working with the team, but oftentimes those decisions do fall upon me. You know, there was a lot of anxiety at first. I think after experiencing those breaks, the fall break and the midwinter break, this past year, it was welcomed. Teachers, staff members, and students seem to appreciate that opportunity to have throughout the year versus all up front during the 11-week summer break. So we still were able to provide the same summer programs, resources, camps, and opportunities for our students, and also with the built-in academic remediation and enrichment time. You know, it's been fruitful. And we do know that there are some that have had some struggles with it, but we're still trying to work through those.
Now, are there going to be any changes to the calendar this year compared to last year, or is it about the same?
It's about the same calendar with a week break in October and a week break in February.
Okay. And is this something you think will continue? I mean, the modified year?
We're definitely still gaining data, information, and feedback to make the best informed decision, but right now it's been going pretty well. The state has taken it upon themselves to put it in the proviso, and the proviso was approved through the budgetary process. However, the policy is actually in draft. They're still drafting, and it won't be approved till further in the fall with an intent to implement in January. What we of Georgetown County School District have done is implement what we believe to be the intent of the proviso, and it would be more beneficial to start a school year with expectations versus disrupting the school year in January or further on in the year with what we believe to be the policy.
So what is the rule exactly? No cell phones, no cell watches or anything like that? I mean, what does it involve?
So it states no personal electronic communication devices are allowed to be in class during class time. So that would be any time after the tardy bell and before the dismissal bell. So instructional time, transition time, lunch time, all those times are included. They are allowed to have them doing transportation while on buses or of course on their personal vehicles, and anytime during athletic events, arts events, anything extracurricular during that school day or the activity time afterwards.
Now, this is only cell phones right now?
Nope, it's including all personal electronic communication devices. Now, I will tell you, cell phones is our huge focus. That's the largest distraction. However, we are aware that students have smartwatches, iPads. Someone even brought up the fact of Google Glasses. So we just want any distraction of that nature to be put away and not with the students, so that they can be totally focused on their instruction. So we do have some situations where it's a medical exemption, and we will review those and determine what's the best manner to move forward.
Did you say medical exemptions to have a phone?
To have a device that may be monitoring blood sugar or things of that nature. So we are aware that we have to monitor and be aware that we may have to make some adjustments or some exemptions for those students. You know, our IT department, our district, our budget has allowed us to upgrade and have phones, you know, in every classroom. And phones are in so many parts of the building. So we just want to rely on that and trust that the safety measures we have in place will be effective for what is needed.
Now, one question we did see over the summer was, this seems to be for students. what about a teacher? Can she sit at her desk and play on her phone while students are doing?
Good question. We do have acceptable use agreements and expectations for our teachers, and so if teachers are using their devices, we expect for it to be for instructional purposes. So, ultimately safety is our number one priority. The bottom line is we want to ensure that students in those ages or those grades are being released to a guardian that is approved. The best way that we can determine that it is an approved guardian is to have this tagging system where that guardian needs to show the correct number, the correct tag that matches that student. Oftentimes, we have our traditional drivers and we're thankful for them. We love them, all that they do. However, there are times when we have a sub-driver, and that sub-driver may not be aware of which custodian or which guardian to release a student to. So this tagging system could be effective in that manner as well. So our goal is ultimately to ensure that we're releasing our younger students to the appropriate guardian.
Now, what happens, and I'm not sure exactly how the busing system works as far as, age groups on the bus, but let's say you've got middle schooler Johnny on the bus with his first grade brother. Mm-hmm. First grade brother could not just get off the bus with Johnny?
We are allowing that. It just needs to be signed and approved, the release that the older sibling can or is responsible for their sibling.
Okay, but if it's a student by himself, there has to be somebody with that card outside the bus saying this is
for those grade levels.
For those grade levels. Mm-hmm. And now it was third grade and under when you first talked about it. Why did you change it to second grade?
In accordance with state law, actually it could be first, but our administrators, our team here decided, we still want to be mindful of our younger population, so we're going to at least monitor the second grade.
Now, unlike the cell phone deal, this is not a state mandate, right? This is something you're doing?
Correct. This is Georgetown County School District.
And how do parents get the cards if they don't have them? If they need them tomorrow for school, how do they get them if they don't have them?
So we do have a grace period built in, but we are asking parents to, come to the meet and greets, the open houses, registration to get the cards. Otherwise, we are sending them with students if we can, so that they can have them that way. But we would ultimately love for our parents to come in, speak with the teachers or the administrators, and all of this can be explained as how it works.
So if on the first couple of days of school, tomorrow or Friday, they don't have them, you'll kind of work with them to get them?
Exactly. We know we have to build in this grace period time, so we'll have that allowed.
You're not going to keep little Johnny on the bus if, Thursday, tomorrow.
No, we're not. We're not going to do that. They are built into the high schools. We're piloting that at the 4 high schools, and they'll be responsible for our safety checks during the morning time as well as throughout the day, so that we're ensuring that we have these safety checks with open gate or detections throughout the day.
Because I remember last year people were concerned that the metal detectors were not being used all the time. They were being used sporadically here and there. Now you're using them all the time, but then people were saying, well, what about if a student comes in late, or what if a visitor comes in at 2 p.m. They weren't not being always screened. So now they are. Anybody who walks into school anytime during the day?
Correct. This allows for that constant check throughout the day, and this helps for students who have late arrival, or our students who are participating in our Tech Scholars or programs at Horry Georgetown Tech. Yeah, so we've been monitoring, and we are seeing pluses in our recruitment or in our enrollment in our student population. We've also seen the benefits of the professional learning that our teachers are receiving, and as they carry it out in their classrooms. So we are seeing the benefits of what the Pathways to Success, our magnet programs, can do for us.
Now, have you seen that particularly any of the 5 schools have seen more of growth than others?
I'm pleased in all of them. All of our current administrators are really leading the charge, and as we say, screaming their themes, and they're actively recruiting. They've been doing things throughout the summer, and our magnet certified staff participated in an early professional learning opportunity to get the things going that they need for their schools.
Now, is this a program you think may continue?
I definitely can see it. The sustainability is always a question when you have to look at funding, but I really believe that our district is on board and can see the fruitfulness of the magnet program.
Because the grant you got to start this was for how many years? Do you remember?
It's 5 with an option for 6.
Okay, so you know it's going to be in place for 5 years.
Right.
Funded for that. So you'll look at it after the maybe 4th year to see if you want it to continue past the 5th year.
Right, and some of the things that are built into the magnet program grant is upfront costs per se. Those are the big items, if you will. Those big physical purchases, whereas as we go throughout the grant, the amount of funding that's allocated for different things will lessen because we have those things now in place, and much of it is just the sustainability of the professional learning and the growing our own to be able to do. Yeah, our teachers received the $2,500 as well as the step increase. Our administrators received 2%, and then all other non-certified staff members received 3.5%. You know, we're excited about the school year. We're ready to get started tomorrow, and we're building on our team spirit. And, you know, actually we've embraced the Olympic excitement and the Olympic theme spirit here as we promote Melissa. Go Melissa, go for the goal. We'll be in our red, white, and blue on Friday as well as next week when she competes. But ultimately that Olympic spirit embraces let's move and celebrate. So throughout the school year, we're going to move and celebrate academically as well as athletically and in the arts.
And talking about Melissa Jefferson, you know, she's going to be doing the track at the Olympics in Paris on Friday and Saturday, and I think next week as well. So is there any way to watch it during the school day? I know you can't, you know, Friday because it's going to be at 4:30 a.m. or something like that. But I think next week it's sometime during the school day.
You know, we talked about it in one of our meetings this week as far as how can we encourage that or how can we embrace that. So we are considering how that may possibly look next Friday if she or when she's competing. What Melissa represents for us, we're so proud of, but we know that our district and our community has had a huge impact on her. And so we're just continuing to foster that in all of our students, knowing that it's her today, but it could be someone else later. So we want to continue to encourage achievement and teamwork with everyone.
All right, final words for the folks for this year?
Let's get ready. A few more hours are counting down, and we're ready and excited to see not just the students, but our entire team, our entire family, stakeholders, community members come on. Let's get on board and let's have a great as well as a safe and productive school year.